All right, so got a little different formatting here. So going to try some different programs, see if this works out well. Yeah, this is Loom instead of just using the hovercam. All right, so we're going to be dividing radicals. This will finish out the section 5.2. All right, so there's a lot of information in 5.2. 5.3 should go a little quicker. All right, and we'll do that actually tomorrow. All right, so dividing radicals, I'm actually going to go straight to the example. Example 6 out of your textbook, and that is on page 251. And when we divide by a binomial radical, all right, remember we said a binomial radical looks like this. It's it's got two terms. One is a radical, the other one does not have to be. All right, and if we want to divide by that, it breaks one of the rules involving having radicals in the denominator. So we don't want radicals in the denominator. So to get rid of that, what we do is we multiply by its conjugate. And it is the same thing as when we multiplied complex numbers. Okay. So if you remember when complex numbers, if I had something like I plus 2i, in order to get rid of the imaginary unit in the denominator, we had to multiply by its conjugate. So we went by this. We multiplied by that. And we did lots of those. All right. We're going to do the same thing with these. It's just going to be radicals now. But the same properties actually are going to show up with radicals as they do. Basically, the square root goes away. Just like over here, when we multiplied this, the i's went away, okay, in the denominator. Excuse me. So let's see. We've got your example 6. Looks like this. And it's, well, I know you guys can read this in the textbook, but it's good to like have a voice, all your homework will be just like this. All right. I'll post that homework tomorrow. That is kind of large. Does it have to be this large? I don't know. Is that better? Okay, I'm not in your face. All right. All right. So we've got this denominator right here. Okay, and we can see that it's got a radical sign. We have to get rid of that. So I will multiply by its conjugate. All right, and that's 1 over 2 minus radical 5. Notice that this sign does not change. It's only this second term that actually changes. So I made a mistake, though. This should be 2 minus radical 5 as well. So you have to have this has to be 1, all right? You can't change a number here. What you're doing is you're multiplying by 1. These guys do cancel out, so I am multiplying by 1, but this is a trick, okay? So 1 gets distributed to both of those terms, so it just ends up being 2 minus radical 5. And I'm going to be real careful here. I'm actually going to FOIL these, okay? And so 2 times 2 is actually 4. 2 times negative radical 5 is just negative 2 radical 5. Now I distribute this radical 5 to 2, and that will just be 2 radical 5. And then this becomes a minus the square root of 25. Now you'll notice that these will cancel out. That's the beauty of conjugates. And so awesome. Those will cancel out. But then here we actually have negative 5 because the square root of 25 is 5. And the negative sign is out on the outside waiting for that 5 to be basically square rooted or squared out, I should say. So what's left is you get a 4 minus 5. Okay, so when you have 2 minus radical 5 over negative 1, 4 minus 5 is negative 1, what we do is we actually want to get rid of the negative sign in the denominator as well. And so when we do that, we actually just divide everything by negative 1. So 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. And then negative radical 5 divided by negative 1 is actually positive radical 5. And we will actually leave it in this form. Normally, the radical is second. All right, it's the second term in the expression. And but depends on who your author. Your textbook actually just says this. Okay, it means the same exact thing. All right, as long as the radical 5 is positive and the 2 is negative, that's fine. All right, so that's pretty much it. And I'm going to go ahead and assign the homework would be out of the Math Excel, and there'll probably be about 5 or 6 problems out of there. All right, okay, and I'll post that probably in the morning. It's getting pretty late. All right, but I'll post this video. You guys can watch it whenever you feel like it. And so let's see how this Loom works out. All right, have a good night. Bye. Wait, let me check something. I just want to see if I can do stuff. Okay, it's a little slow. There we go. It's kind of slow. Yeah, it's a little slow, lags a little bit. That's all right.